Yeah. So more or less you will feel, yeah, I think there was some issue with the settings. Let's ignore that part. Uh, so you will, I hope I'm clearly visible now. Yeah. So we have come up with the series GOAT2K series. So okay, all right. So I think I'll restart. Forget about the first few minutes to be over. So welcome to the series GOAT2K. Now this series is titled in a particular manner because we believe that by attending sessions on this platform GOAT IPM, you will be able to reach IIM K. तो आप IIM K जा पाओगे. Is my voice still too low? I'll try and speak louder. Is my voice still too low? Uh, all right, no worries. Doesn't matter. I think I'll try and speak louder so you'll be able to hear me properly. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. Yeah. So the whole idea is we'll not get into the debate of IIM K worth it है या नहीं. दोनों बहुत अच्छे कॉलेजेस हैं, IIM इंदौर, IIM K. और IIM इंदौर का अगर IPMAT प्रोग्राम इतना सक्सेसफुल रहा है तो I'm pretty sure कि IIM K in the years to come will give some really good dividends in the years to come. So without wasting any more time, the entire course is focused towards making sure that you get a good revision or have a quick recap of all the fundamental concepts when it comes to the subject areas that this particular admission test might focus on. तो एक बार start करते हैं with the first topic, that is percentage. Will be combining percentage as well as profit and loss together. तो percentage as well as profit and loss दोनों ही parts को हम cover करेंगे. So when you think of profit and loss, अगर हम परसेंटेज या प्रॉफिट लॉस टॉपिक की बात करें, सो इट इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी एन इंटीग्रल पार्ट ऑफ एनीबडीज एप्टीट्यूड प्रिपरेशन. किसी या सो किसी भी अगर हम प्रिपरेशन की बात करें, एंट्रेंस टेस्ट की बात करें, तो यू विल रियलाइज दैट टिपिकली या सो यू विल रियलाइज कि परसेंटेज प्रॉफिट लॉस एक ऐसा एरिया है जिसको कि बहुत ज़्यादा वेटेज दिया जाता है, फंडामेंटल है. एंड IIM K ने अपने मीडिया इंटरेक्शंस में हमेशा ये बोला है that they'll try to keep quantitative ability to the level where almost everybody will be able to attempt it. So let's start with the basic concept on percentage and profit loss. जब हम percentage profit loss की बात कर रहे हैं, the first thing that we need to understand is the concept of percent. तो percent is out of 100. And as I said, if some of you have already studied a lot, अगर आप already काफ़ी कुछ prepare कर चुके हो, तो this session might seem very basic to you, but I'll very quickly run through some of the basic concepts and then we'll take up advanced level questions as well. तो परसेंट का कॉन्सेप्ट होता है आउट ऑफ 100, मतलब 100 में से कितना. तो परसेंटेज में अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स वी टेंड टू यूज दिस रिलेशनशिप की a अपॉन b इंटू 100 कर दे तो हमें परसेंटेज की वैल्यू मिल जाएगी. तो व्हेन यू आर गिवन लेट्स से 11 आउट ऑफ 25 और आपसे पूछा है कितना परसेंट होगा, तो 11 आउट ऑफ 25 यू नीड टू कन्वर्ट इट टू परसेंट. से विल से मल्टीप्लाई कैसे करते हैं, 100 से. कैंसिलेशन होगा 25 4 से, विल से दैट इज इक्विवेलेंट टू 44%. आई होप दैट इज क्लियर. Just give me a second, है ना. Just give me a second. I'll quickly check if the voice is creating some trouble, some issue. Yeah, just a second. Huh? Yeah, all right. So, All right, no worries. Hopefully things will be better now. या सो स्टार्ट करते हैं अगेन. परसेंटेज का बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट, ए अपॉन बी इंटू 100 करेंगे तो परसेंटेज की वैल्यू निकल आती है. परसेंटेज सिंपली आउट ऑफ 100. now अगर हम स्टैंडर्ड कॉन्सेप्ट्स की बात करें कि परसेंटेज में हम और क्या कवर कर सकते हैं, सो यू विल रियलाइज कि परसेंटेज जब हम टर्म बोलते हैं तो बहुत बार कंफ्यूजन आता है ए परसेंट ऑफ बी एंड बी परसेंट ऑफ ए. अगर इस तरह की टर्म्स के साथ स्टैंडर्ड कंफ्यूजेबल स्टेटमेंट्स हम सोचें, सो यू विल रियलाइज कि जब हम स्टैंडर्ड स्टेटमेंट्स परसेंटेज में डील कर रहे हैं, सो विल हैव द कॉन्सेप्ट. ऑलराइट, क्वेश्चंस पे ही हम आ चुके हैं, सो जस्ट गिव मी अ मिनट. इनफैक्ट आई विल रन थ्रू क्वेश्चंस रादर देन कवरिंग बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स. लेट्स क्विकली रन थ्रू बेसिक क्वेश्चंस. उन्हीं के थ्रू कॉन्सेप्ट्स का डिस्कशन भी करते जाएंगे. सो I'll erase all the markings out of there. Yeah, perfect. So if A is 20% more than B, अगर A की वैल्यू B से 20% ज़्यादा है तो then by what percent is B less than A? Straight forward question. क्या इस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करने के लिए पेन की ज़रूरत होनी चाहिए? Ideally not. So let's see orally कैसे सोच सकते हैं. A is 20% more than B, तो अगर आप B को 100 मानो तो A कितना हो जाएगा? 120. A 20% ज़्यादा है B से, तो B अगर आपने 100 माना तो A कितना हो जाएगा? 120. अब ये पूछ रहे हैं कि B A से कितना कम है, मतलब 100 वैल्यू 120 से कितना कम है, सो विल से 20 कम है, बट ऑन अ बेस ऑफ 120, so 20 upon 120 that is 1 by 6 which is 16.66%. so I can directly write it this way that if A is 20% more than B, तो A अगर 20% more है मतलब B को अगर मैं 100 लूँ तो A कितना हो जाएगा? 120. if A is 20% more than B, और आप पूछ रहे हैं by what percent is B less than A, कितने परसेंट से B कम है A से, by what percent is B less than A, तो विल से 20 यूनिट्स कम है on a base of what? on a base of 120. so 20 upon 120 परसेंटेज में कितना होगा? फ्रैक्शन में होगा 1 by 6 and that 1 by 6 translates to how much? 16.666%. I hope that's clear. तो स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन. अब अगर इस तरह के क्वेश्चंस की और प्रैक्टिस करें, फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई से नाउ कि टिपिकली रादर देन गिविंग यू दिस एज 20%, अब मैं अगर आपको डायरेक्टली बोल दूं कि वैल्यू दी है 25% मोर, तो क्या हम ओरली और बहुत जल्दी कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं? कैन वी रन थ्रू इट वेरी फास्ट? जैसे ही मुझे 25% ज्यादा दिखेगा मैं लिख सकता हूँ कि B की वैल्यू अगर 4 है तो A की वैल्यू 5 है. ये कैसे लिखा मैंने? B को अगर 100 मानता तो A 125 होता, 25 से कैंसिल करते तो रेशियो कितना रहता? 4:5. तो अब B की वैल्यू A से कितना परसेंट कम है? सो कैन आई से 1 ऑन अ बेस ऑफ व्हाट? 5. तो 1 by 5 कितना होता है परसेंटेज में? दैट इज 20%. सो आंसर कितना आ जाएगा इस केस में? अगर 25 होता तो हमारा आंसर की वैल्यू आती 20%. आई होप ये क्लियर है. अच्छा, इसका नेक्स्ट लेवल का शॉर्टकट अगर बनाना हो तो वो भी बना सकते हैं, बट आई डोंट थिंक जरूरत है. अगर कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर है तो विल बी इजीली एबल टू सॉल्व. बट नेक्स्ट लेवल का शॉर्टकट सिंपली इतना है कि लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स दीस फ्रैक्शंस जब 1 अपॉन के फॉर्म में आते हैं तो उनका नेक्स्ट फ्रैक्शन बिकम्स, बिकॉज गैप 1 का रहता है, फॉर एग्जांपल 25% है तो फ्रैक्शन होता है 1/4, तो हमारा आंसर 1/5 आया. और इसके प्रीवियस क्वेश्चन को भी अगर आप देखो कि 20% था तो 20% वॉज 1/5, तो हमारा आंसर जो आता है वो कितना आता है? 1/6. बट ये शॉर्टकट सिर्फ तभी एप्लीकेबल हैं जब स्टैंडर्ड फ्रैक्शंस 1/5, 1/6, 1/7 इनकी बात करें. अदरवाइज कोई भी परसेंटेज वैल्यू गिवन हो, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर बोल दिया A is 40% मोर देन B, तो क्या ये स्टैंडर्ड तरीका अप्लाई हो पाएगा कि बाय व्हाट परसेंट इज B लेस देन A? सो देन विल से नहीं सर, 40% के लिए हम वही तरीका अपनाते हैं कि 40% मोर मतलब अगर B को 100 मानेंगे तो A कितना हो जाएगा? 140. कैंसिल कर सकते हैं किससे? 20 से. 25 जा 27 जा. तो अब B A से कितना कम है? B A से कम है 2 यूनिट्स. 2 units on a base of 7, तो 2 by 7 is 28.28%. I hope this is clear. 1 by 7 कितना होता है? 14.14. So 14.14 का डबल करेंगे 28.28% आंसर आ जाएगा. So if some of you, there are currently around 8-10 concurrent viewers, if some of you are watching this, I'll quickly want you to tell me the answer to the next question कि अगर हम एग्जाम्पल चेंज करके 20% मोर की जगह मैं आपको दे दूं लेट्स सपोज 33 1/3% मोर, तो कैन यू क्विकली टेल मी कि बाय व्हाट परसेंट इज B लेस देन A? वेरी क्विकली, बाय व्हाट परसेंट इज B लेस देन A? B A से कितना परसेंट कम होगा? टाइम नहीं लगना चाहिए, क्वेश्चन देखा, आंसर आना चाहिए. 33% मोर मतलब 3 का 4, तो ये ऑन अ बेस ऑफ 1 लेस, तो 1/4 आंसर कितना आ जाएगा 25%। आई होप दिस इज क्लियर, एक्सट्रीमली इजी स्टफ। आगे बढ़ते हैं, लेट्स लुक एट नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नाउ। सो टू सक्सेसिव डिस्काउंट्स, अब जब भी हम सक्सेसिव डिस्काउंट एज अ टर्म की बात करते हैं, so whenever we talk of successive discount as a term, understand that you will never have a independent sum total equivalent to the individual values given for an overall discount। अब इसका क्या मतलब है वो समझ लेते हैं। सपोज हम इनिशियल कोई वैल्यू से स्टार्ट करते हैं 100, तो व्हाट डज द टर्म सक्सेसिव डिस्काउंट रेफर्स टू? द टर्म सक्सेसिव डिस्काउंट रेफर्स टू percentage change one after the other, and I'll try my best to speak as far as possible in English so that anybody and everybody who is attending this session from any part of the world will be able to understand. So when you say successive, it means one after the other, correct? One after the other. So if there are two successive discounts of 20% each, so we are essentially saying that first time you reduce the value by 20%, so we have assumed it to be 100, 20% reduction will make it 80, and then on this new reduced value do again a change, because they are saying 2. If they would have said 3 successive discount, we would have gone 1, 2 and another third step. So another 20% reduction. 20% is what? 1/5. So 80 ka 1/5, 80 by 5 will be 16, will reduce 16, this will translate to 64. Now what they are asking is, what is this percentage change? So from 100 to 64, there is a reduction of how much? 36%. That is your answer. Question is done. I hope this is clear. So question ho gaya hai, answer is done. Answer is 36% reduction. But is there a direct way in which we can solve this, rather than calculating values by assuming 100 and then going ahead? So there is a direct relationship for net percentage change. Let's suppose the first percentage change that you are seeing. Let's call it A. And the second percentage change that is asked is B. In this case, both are same value of 20% each. But net percentage change then would become A plus B plus AB upon 100. ठीक है? So net percentage change का there is a direct relationship is equal to A plus B plus AB upon 100. Now let's apply this taking due care of sign. मतलब पॉजिटिव या नेगेटिव साइन का स्पेशल ध्यान रखें. बी वेरी केयरफुल विद पॉजिटिव एंड नेगेटिव साइन, बिकॉज इट सेज डिस्काउंट, which means we are trying to reduce the value, so the value will be negative. So A refers to -20 here and not +20, because they are saying discount. B refers to again -20. So then look at this, net sum total becomes 40. That is not the answer, because we have another factor plus AB by 100. So we'll get plus -20 into -20 divided by 100. Essentially we get -40, and this gets cancelled 5 times, this gets cancelled 4 times, minus becomes plus, -40 plus 4 becomes -36. So the net percentage change therefore is 36%. Do remember this relationship. Net percentage change is equal to A plus B plus AB by 100. Now why is this relationship so very useful? ये relationship इतनी ज़्यादा useful क्यों है? इसका एक quick summary देख लें. Let's quickly see a summary of why this relationship is useful. Instead of two, suppose there are 3 successive changes. Let's suppose the changes are 10%, then 20%, then 30%. ठीक है? So very interesting discussion, you will enjoy it. हम बहुत basic से start, we are starting from ground zero, but we'll very quickly reach a level, we'll start enjoying. अच्छा, this is interesting, this can be also thought of. So 3 successive changes, 10%, 20%, 30%. How do we then calculate? One is fundamental way. Sir, take 100, then 10% increase, so it will become 110. Then 20% increase, that is 1/5, it will become 132. Then we have to do 30% increase. Now you will feel there is a lot of calculation. 13.2 will be 10%. Uska 3 times करेंगे, that will give you 30%. So you will have to do maybe some kind of rough calculation कि 132 का 30% निकालना है. So that will be 3 by 10. So 13.2 into 3, and then you will say 0.6 and 39.6, and then you will add 39.6 to this value, and then add and say okay 0.6, 1 carry 17, 1.6, and then you will say finally from 100 to 171.6 you have a value of 71.6%, that's our answer. But believe me, this is not the approach that you are expected to follow, because after the second step, the calculation becomes heavier. Even if you use calculator, in case it is allowed, it will be really time consuming. So what is expected when you are given this? अगर हमें ये दिया है, तो what is expected will not be solving it like this. So how is it that we are expected to solve? कैसे solve करेंगे? So we'll simply say that, have we studied a basic formula for successive percentage change? Yes, absolutely. What is that formula about? That formula is about A plus B plus AB by 100. So I'll do quick calculation for these two. 100 plus 20 is what? 30 plus 100 into 20 by 100 will be 2. So net change is 32%, which you are seeing here. And then this 32 becomes your new A. And this 30, which is the third successive increase, 30%, this becomes your new B. So now combining both, you can apply A plus B. So you'll say 32 plus 30 plus 32 into 30 by 100. Now believe me, this becomes easier. 32 plus 30 is 62, plus you cancel this. 32 into 3 is 96. This becomes 9.6. 62 plus 9.6 is nothing but 71.6%, which is the answer. A lot of students would feel, sir, for two successive changes, two successive percentage changes, we have seen the formula A plus B plus AB by 100. Isn't there a formula for three successive percentage change? So answer is yes. The formula is there, but the whole issue is it is so complex that it is not advisable for you to remember this. The formula is something like this. For three successive percentage changes, you can have A plus B plus C plus AB by 100 plus BC by 100 plus AC by 100 plus ABC square by 100, something like this. तो इतना बड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स फॉर्मूला याद करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. There is no need for you to remember this. Just simply remember this part, that if there are successive changes, we'll be able to directly use this. Now, where do we use successive percentage change? So the next concept that we'll cover in this is applications of successive percentage change. Applications of successive percentage change. कहाँ apply कर सकते हैं? So wherever there is product of two or more than two parameters, to calculate net change, you can always apply successive percentage change, which means I'm writing first application being product of multiplication. Product here refers to multiplication of two or more parameters. दो या दो से ज्यादा parameters हो. So then for net change calculation, for net percentage change calculation, you can always apply A plus B plus AB upon 100. Now let's see a quick application. Let's talk of length into breadth being equal to area. Is length into breadth equal to area? Absolutely. For a rectangle, एक rectangle के लिए, square के लिए, what is the area? Length into breadth. In case of square, both are equal. So now if I say length into breadth is area, if the question says length is increased by 10% and the breadth is increased by 20%, please calculate for me the percentage change in area. If the length is increased by 10%, breadth is increased by 20%, calculate the percentage change in area, then you can directly apply. Why? Because the product of L into B equates to area, and this is what we have studied as a first application, which means you just have to simply do this 10 plus 20 plus 10 into 20 by 100, which means the answer is 32. It should take you 2 seconds. If you look at a question type of this nature, where you will look at percentage change in area or percentage change where two or more than two parameters are applied. So instead of this, suppose I give you another question where I say that you are now asked the net percentage change in volume of a cuboid. So volume of a cuboid, length into breadth into height, correct? Now length is changing by 10%, let's assume increasing. Breadth is changing by 20%, let's assume increasing. And the height is decreasing by 10%. Now how do you go about calculating the percentage change in volume? So बहुत easy है. 10 और 20 का तो अभी हमने इतनी बार कर लिया है कि अब याद ही हो गया है. 32% का net change आएगा. But now this 32 becomes our new A, this becomes our new B with a negative sign. and we can now apply successive percentage change for this A and B. So 32 combined with 10 will effectively get 32 minus 10 plus 32 into minus 10 divided by 100. So sorry for this, 32 into minus 10 divided by 100. This gets cancelled. 32 minus 10 is 22 minus of 3.2. So 22 minus 3 is how much? 19. 19 में से 0.2 minus करा 18.8. So this becomes your answer. So the net change in volume of a cuboid will be 18.8%. So please remember this application, that whenever there are two or more than two parameters getting multiplied to calculate the net percentage change, you will be easily able to get the answer accordingly. I hope this part is clear. Perfect. Let's move on to the next question then. अगले question पे चलते हैं. It says after increasing a number by certain percentage, slightly more trickier, difficult question. The result is 25% more than what it would have been if the number had been decreased by the same percentage. So let's look at the complex question. Same easy concept of percentage, something which is out of 100, but now they are saying something interesting. They are saying after increasing a number by certain percentage, and that is the percentage that they are essentially asking later on. So let's assume it to be x. So we are increasing a number. Let's assume the number to be n. We are increasing it by a certain percentage. Let's assume that the percentage be x. So the new value will be n into 1 plus x by 100. This will be the new value. This result is 25% more. 25% more than what? 25% more than what it would have been if the number had been decreased by same percentage. तो number को x% से बढ़ा रहे हैं. If we are increasing the number by x%, this is the value. If we had decreased the number by x percentage, this would have been the value. And this value, let's call it A, let's call it B. This value A is how much more? 25% more than this value B. So can I say if this value corresponds to a base of 100, this would correspond to a base of 125? Or in simpler terms, I can take the ratio 25 4s are 25 5s are 125. So if this A corresponds to 5, this B corresponds to 4. I hope this is clear. Now let's simply equate this. N से N cancel हो जाएगा. I can simply write this 1 plus x by 100 whole upon 1 minus x by 100. So 1 plus x by 100 and then 1 minus x by 100. The entire ratio will be equal to 5 upon 4. I hope this is clear. Now we can cross multiply and solve this very quickly. So we'll get 4 plus 4x by 100. 4 plus 4x by 100. This is equal to 5 minus 5x by 100. Now let's bring all the terms of x towards one side. So 4x plus 5x will be 9x by 100 is equal to 1. So x corresponds to 100 by 9, which you have, I think, memorized by now, comes out to be 11.11%. So that becomes your answer. Believe me, this is a question that a lot of people will feel that this will go in moderate to difficult category if it comes in the exam. So what was given? Number increased by certain percentage, number decreased by the same percentage. But the gap between two is that one is 25% more than the other. Let's look at the next question now. So I'll erase all this. So by the way, if some of you want the PPT, PDFs of all the questions, compilation, the alternate methods, shortcuts, etc., you can log into the portal on the website aptitude.com, where we are providing 5 mocks for IIM K. So it's a new course, a lot of anticipation, a lot of guessing with regards to what might be the paper, how would it be different. What they've confirmed officially is that it will be of 2 hours and 90 questions, but they haven't shared much. There will be 2 sections only, but they've said that there might be reasoning involved in quantitative aptitude, there might be reasoning involved in verbal ability, there might be DI involved in quant section, and so on and so forth. So it's extremely important that if you are targeting this course, that you practice a lot of different variety of mocks, because you don't know what might come. A lot of people were thrown off guard when the IIM Indore paper came to be different because of 3 RCs. So just that one small little change created a huge difference in the mindset of students. So my strong recommendation, try and prepare yourself to different scenarios that might happen in the actual IIM K paper. And therefore, if you want access to some of these PPTs, some free resource content, you can log into the website aptitude.com, and there once you look at the course, you will get access to some of the material that you're seeing here. Let's look at the next question now. So a number is increased by 30%, then decreased by 20%, and then finally increased by 25%. Now can I say this is same as successive percentage change? If this is same as successive percentage change, first it is increased by 30%, then it is decreased by 20%, and then it is further increased by 25%. So 30 minus 20 is 10. 10 minus 30 into 20 by 100. I am applying successive percentage change. So effectively this gets cancelled. 10 minus 6 is 4. Now this 4 gets compiled with 25 in successive percentage change. So we get 4 plus 25 plus 4 into 25 by 100. So this becomes 29 plus 1, 30%. So overall there is a 30% change. So 30% increase, which means initially if it was 100, then finally the value becomes 130. The ratio comes out to be 10:13. And now they are saying the final result is 117. So if 13 corresponds to 117, the multiplication factor is of 9. 9 multiply karte hain, you'll get your answer as 90. Find the original number. The original number was 90. I hope this part is clear. Acha, we'll be continuing this series depending on the enthusiasm, the way you people take it. So I expect that you keep on attending the sessions regularly, keep interacting, keep sharing in the comment section, even if you're watching it later and not attending it live, that if at all you feel that there are some topics that you want us to be covered, we'll try our best to either go live or at least have some recorded sessions. So there might be some topics that you might not have prepared well so far, or you have no idea about it. So please recommend and we'll try and come up with that. Thank you for the comment, Lafi. Encouragement is always appreciated. So question number 4, I hope is clear. Let's move to the next question. So yeah. So if in a cuboid the length is increased by 10%, breadth is increased by 20%. So length का increase है 10%, breadth का increase है 20%, and volume का change दे दिया है. Volume का change is 40%. Now they are asking height का change, percentage change in, find the percentage change in volume. Volume नहीं height होना चाहिए. Question में correction है. So sorry. So what they have done is, in this question, can we apply successive percentage change? Yes. 10% increase, 20% increase, overall 40% increase. We don't know this X% increase. Can we apply successive percentage change? Absolutely. 10 and 20 though we have already memorized as 32%. 10 plus 20 plus 10 into 20 by 100. Now we need to combine this 32 with X to get a net value of 40. 32 plus X plus 32 into X divided by 100. This is nothing but 40. So now this 32 goes to that side, we get X plus 32 by X, which is 132 X by 100. This essentially becomes equal to 40. 40 minus 32 becomes 8. Is this divisible by 4? 4 से cancel हो रहे हैं values. Yes. So 4 से cancel कर देते हैं. 4 से cancel करो तो you'll get 4. 25 सा 4 से cancel कर तो 4 3 सा 12 बचेगा. 4 3 सा 12. So x की value आ गई आपकी 25 into 8 divided by 33. That is the answer. So you will get answers in fractions or percentages. Let's quickly check the calculation कि सही कराएगी नहीं. 32% net change हुआ लेंथ और breadth से, और 32 में x% का और इंक्रीज करा. 32 plus x plus 32 x by 100 is equal to 40 आ गया. So x plus 32 becomes 132 x by 100, that is equal to 8. कैंसिलेशन कर दें. एक बार और कैलकुलेशन चेक कर लें. 132 फ्रैक्शन में आ रहा है इसलिए मैं जस्ट क्रॉस चेकिंग इट वंस. 4 से कैंसिल अगर यहाँ करते हैं तो 4 से कैंसिल करा 2 सा, and obviously 33 into 4 is this. So 200 by 33 becomes our answer. So 200 by 33% is the net percentage change in the height. ठीक है. So simple question again, application based question on successive percentage change. So I hope कि अगर successive percentage change related कोई question आता है तो वो तो बन जाएगा. Now we move on to CPSP-MP, which is nothing but the subject of profit and loss. Profit and loss is a very interesting topic if understood well. This can be your strength. So let's quickly look at profit and loss में certain standard question types. They are saying CP of 4 articles. So sorry. CP of 4 articles is equal to SP of 5 articles. So can I say if the CP of one article is written as CP, can I write this direct equation 4 CP is actually equal to 5 SP? Where I'm saying CP refers to cost price of one article. So the CP of 4 articles, so one article is costing equal to 1 CP, so 4 articles will cost 4 CP. If one article has an SP called SP, then 5 will have 5 SP. If this is given, then they are asking the profit loss percentage. Now, the easiest way to solve such questions is to say CP upon SP as a ratio would be what? CP upon SP as a ratio would be what? 5:4. So by default, you can compare and say if CP is 5, which means if the cost price of the article is 5, the selling price of the article would be how much? 4. So if there is a product, there is an article which has a cost of 5 and you are selling it at 4, obviously you are incurring a loss. Loss of how much? 1. I hope this is clear. So this loss of 1 on a base of 5 is the loss percentage. That is what they are asking. So loss percentage is equal to 1 on a base of 5 into 100. That comes out to be 20%. So I'll reiterate. The moment you get a question like this, that CP of 4 articles is equal to SP of 5 articles, or CP of 5 articles is equal to SP of 4 articles, CP of X articles is equal to SP of Y articles, and so on and so forth. Just simply equate, create an equation, find out the ratio, and then take the difference between CP and SP. If CP is more, you will have loss. If SP is more, there will be profit, and then simply calculate the percentage change. I hope this is clear. Now, if this is clear, let's take another question where instead of this, I'm giving you another data. Quickly tell me the answer for this. If CP of 10 articles, CP of 10 articles is equal to SP of 9 articles. So you will create this equation. CP of 10 articles is equal to SP of 9 articles. Quickly tell me the profit or loss percentage depending on what is happening, whether it's a profit or a loss. Very quickly, should not take you a lot of time, should be able to answer a jiffy. देखते से आंसर आ जाएगा. All right. So let's quickly see. We'll say CP upon SP. The ratio comes out to be 9:10, which means if the CP is 9, SP is 10, which means the profit is 1 because CP is less. And we always calculate the profit percent on a base of CP. So that becomes 1 by 9. 1 by 9 refers to 11.11%. I hope this is clear. I am assuming that you are able to solve questions of this nature very, very quickly now. Perfect. Correct answer 11.11. Let's erase this part. Let's look at the next question. So sorry. If 5 articles with same cost price are sold at 10%, 20%, 30%. Acha, by the way, this question should take 3 seconds after reading to solve. 3 seconds after reading to solve it. तीन सेकंड में हो जाना चाहिए. So just look at this question, try and see. If 5 articles with same cost price are sold at 10%, 20%, 30%, 40% and 50% profit respectively, find the overall profit percent. Overall profit percent निकालना है. Cost price same है. So can I say article 1? I am explaining it in a detailed manner first, but then I'll give you a shortcut so that you are able to answer this question in 3 seconds, 5 seconds. Maybe 3 is an exaggeration. 5 seconds में हो जाएगा. I think some of you might be able to do it in 2 seconds. So article 1, let me write down this. Article 1, article 2, article 3, article 4, article 5 and so on. Now we have 5 articles. Do they have the same cost price? That is an important condition. Yes. All of them have the same cost price of, let's assume 100. We don't know the cost price. Let's assume the cost price to be 100. They are sold at 10%, 20%, 30% and so on profit. So their CP will be this. Their SP will be what? 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. If we calculate the profit here, 10 rupees profit, 20 rupees profit, 30 rupees profit, 40 rupees profit, 50 rupees profit. Now what is the overall profit that you are getting? Overall profit that you are getting is sum of all these profits, which is 50 plus 40. So 1 से लेकर 5 तक के सीरीज का सम कितना होता है? वैसे 15 होता है, बट फिर भी याद नहीं है तो आप इंडिविजुअली कैलकुलेट कर लो. तो 15 और ये एंड का 0, तो you have a net profit of 150. Or total cost that you've incurred is 500. So can I say on a total cost of 500, you have incurred a profit or you have got a profit of 150. So 150 on a base of 500 into 100. When you cancel it out, you essentially get as 30%. Now this is not the way you're expected to solve. अगर आप ऐसे कर रहे हो, then you're losing big time. This is not the approach. Understand this part, that when you are given this part that the CP is same, so that is the part that I'll want to highlight. If CP is same, cost price agar same given hai, then you can directly take the average of the individual profits, which means I'm erasing all this because this is not required at all. What you need to do is simply take the simple average, 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50% in values का. You just need to take simple average. क्या करना है आपको? Simple, not even weighted average, simple average. What is the formula for simple average? Sum of all observations divided by the number of observations. But the values here are so ridiculously easy कि you don't even need to worry about adding all these values, because the values are in AP, arithmetic progression में है. And if the values are in AP, the middlemost term itself is the average. So the middlemost term itself is the average, so your answer will then be 30% directly. Doesn't matter whether the series is in AP or not. My suggestion will be this relationship would always hold. If all articles have the same cost price, if all articles have the same cost price and they are sold at different profit percentages, please remember that you have to take simple average. So next question, which I'll expect you to answer in 3 seconds, will be, if there are 3 articles, one is sold at 6% profit, another is sold at 7% profit, and the other is sold at 4% loss. So this is profit and loss. So what will be the overall profit percent if all the 3 articles have same CP? So आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, simple average लेना है, but be very careful with this 4% loss. What will be the answer? Perfect. The answer will be 6 plus 7 minus 4 divided by 3, because now we have 3 articles. 7 and 6, 13. 13 minus 4, 9. 9 divided by 3. 3% profit is the answer. I hope this is clear. Any confusion? Anyone? If this is clear, another example for all of you. Quickly tell me the answer for the next question. If there are 101 articles, 101 articles. In fact, this will be an example question. You can share the answer in the chat. 101 articles sold at same CP. The first one, article 1, is sold at 1% profit. Article 2 is sold at 2% profit. Article 3 is sold at 3% profit, and so on. Article 101 is sold at 101% profit. Can you calculate the overall profit percent? Overall profit percent. This is your home assignment. Please share the answer in the comment section, and I'll be happy to see a lot of people sharing that answer without looking at the comments first, because some of you might have already commented and some of you might have commented the correct answer. So please answers comments में ना देखें, खुद से ईमानदारी से try करें. Let's look at the next question now. So I hope this part is clear with regards to the question on same CP. Now typically there is another question type which is on similar lines, but this time it says sold at same SP, and it only talks of 2 articles. So there is a direct way in which we can solve such a question, but let us first look at the fundamental way of solving this question. If 2 articles are sold at same SP, can we do the same here? 20% loss for one, 20% profit for another. We don't need to solve, sir, answer in 3 seconds. Answer is 0. If your answer is 0, your answer is wrong. Even if the article 1 is sold at 20% profit, the article 2 is sold at 20% loss, the overall profit loss percent will not be equal to 0, because they don't have the same cost price. Your answer would have been 0 if they were having the same cost price. Now they are getting sold at the same selling price. Let us see what impact it has on cost price. So you can have 2 calculations done separately for article 1 and article 2. One is at 20% profit, which means if CPSP, we take the ratio, this ratio will be 20% profit 5:6, 100 is to 120. And for article 2, we can have the ratio of CPSP at 20% loss. So the ratio that we'll have is 5:4, which is if CP is 100, this will be 80. I hope this is clear. In fact, I'll erase this, rewrite this, and then explain it again, because some of you might not be very comfortable. This is something that we learn in class कि जैसे ही आपको बोला 25% increase, we do it 4 का 5. The moment you see 33 1/3% decrease, we say 3:2. We're directly able to write the ratios, because then life becomes very simple. In general, life is very complicated, whether it is academics or otherwise, but then we try and simplify it to the best of our abilities. So when we say, how do we get this 20% profit and how do we get the ratio? So we are saying, take CP as 100, 20% is profit, so 20 above it, it will be 120. And if there is 20% loss, we'll take CP as 100 and SP as 80. But in this case, what you are doing is you're making CP as same 100. But that is justified, sir. 20% profit, perfect. 20% loss, so 20% profit, 20% loss, both are correct, absolutely right. But now, essentially what I want is this 120 and 180 values to be same. So let's take the simple ratio. We can say this is 5:6, this is 5:4. I hope this is clear. Now I want to make 4 and 6 equal. So let's make both of them to be a multiple number which is a multiple of both 4 and 6. So can I say let's make both of them to be equal to 12? So दोनों को 12 बना दिया. To make this 12, we need to multiply a factor of 2. To make 4 as 12, we need to multiply a factor of 3. Correct? Now, we multiply 2 here, we get 10 here. We multiply 3 here, we get 15 here. So what is essentially happening when you are selling articles at same price? Selling articles at same price. Look at this price, 12. Look at this price, 12. So the selling price of both the articles, is now same. If this is same, now we can calculate the overall profit loss percent. So for overall profit loss percent, the overall total cost is 15 plus 10 is 25. So overall CP is 25. Overall selling that we are getting is 12 plus 12, 24 rupees. So you have incurred a cost of 25 rupees, sold it at 24 rupees, net loss is 1 on a base of 25. So your answer will be 1 by 25 into 100, that is 4% loss. This is the fundamental way. Why am I covering the fundamental way? Because unless you understand the logic of what does it mean when you say same SP, we have to create the selling price to be same, maintaining 20% profit as well as 20% loss for the two different articles. Then finally we combine the cost price and say total cost incurred was 25, total sales that happened were 24 rupees, there is a loss of 1 rupee on a base of 25, so we have 4% loss. Once you've understood this, then obviously this is not the way you are expected to solve in the exam. The world is hyper competitive and the examination that you are going to appear in will have huge number of students, Indian students, super intellectual students who will be giving their heart out to ensure that they crack the exam. So if you take this much time, it means you've understood the concept well. Your fundamentals are clear, but probably that might not be good enough. That might be good, but not good enough for you to get a call. And therefore, what should be the way in which we are expected to solve this question? Again, I'll expect you to solve this question within few seconds. Now, what is the direct way? Understand the shortcut is applicable for 2 articles. Only 2 articles. Don't apply it if there are 3 articles, 4 articles. Then you will apply the fundamental way. And 2 articles, then same SP should be the second condition. Same selling price. So first condition, 2 articles. Second condition, same selling price. Third condition, X% profit and X% loss has to be the value. If all these 3 conditions are met, which is the case in this question, look at X to be 20, 20% profit and 20% loss, both X are same. Same SP, there are only 2 articles. When these 3 conditions are met, you can apply a direct shortcut, and the direct shortcut is minus X square upon 100. So remember the answer that we got 4%. Let's say X is 20, so minus 20 square upon 100. So we'll say minus, as it is 20 square is what? 400. 400 divided by 100 translates to minus 4%, which is what? 4% loss. So if these 3 conditions are given, that there is a guarantee that there will always be a loss, and loss percent will be equal to X square by 100. If this is clear, then the next question you will be able to solve in a jiffy, in a matter of few seconds. आप question सुनोगे और आप बोलोगे अच्छा X square by 100 answer है, because these 3 conditions are met. And why are we covering this? Because this is what they are trying to see, whether you have prepared enough, whether you have taken an effort to go through such question types. If you have, you'll be able to crack them quickly and easily and correctly, and so on. But if you haven't, you will go by the fundamental way and you will take a lot of time where others who have prepared well will get ahead of you. So next question is for you all. Quickly share the answer, or maybe again an assignment for sharing the answer in the comment section later on. Same condition, two articles sold at same SP. One is sold at 30% profit, another is sold at 30% loss. जब तक मैं लिख रहा हूँ क्वेश्चन, आई एम श्योर सबका आंसर आ चुका है ना. माइनस का 30 स्क्वायर बाय 100. आंसर इज करेक्ट. Perfect. Let's move ahead to the next question type. I'll erase all these parts. So sorry. We have covered this. Yes, 8th is done. Let's look at 9th. Now this talks of another interesting concept called marked price. If an article is marked at 20% above cost price and then sold at a discount of 20%, we are expected to calculate the overall profit or loss percent, right? We're expected to calculate the overall profit or loss percent. Now let us go by the fundamental way first. Once we've understood the fundamental way, then obviously we'll expect, is there a shorter way? Can we just look at the question and be able to answer the question by just observing for a few seconds and then saying, sir, answer is 0%. Wow, that would be amazing if you're able to do this. Let's hope that we reach a position where we look at the question and say that the answer is this and the question is ridiculously easy. If the article is marked at 25% above cost price, so if I say cost price is 100 and the article is marked 25% above cost price, which means can I say the mark price will be 125. What is mark price? The label price, the sticker price. Suppose you are buying a pen, so you will see typically MRP written somewhere. That refers to maximum retail price. But in general, there are some yellow color stickers sometimes pasted and there is some value written. Let's call it label price, sticker price, marked price, something that is marked on the pen, paper, article, whatever you are purchasing. So they are saying that the cost incurred while creating this pen or the article was 100, but the sticker or the label that was put was 25% higher. So we have said that 125 will be the sticker. Now they are saying sold at a discount of 20%. So when you go ahead and negotiate, you say no, कुछ तो कम करो, कुछ तो पैसा कम होना चाहिए. You want to reduce the price by negotiating, and finally they are saying they are giving a discount of 20%. So 20% is 1/5. 1/5 of 125 is 20. So 1/5 of 125, 1/5 करना है 125 का, 25 का reduction करेंगे. So this becomes 100. Again I'm explaining. 20% reduce करना मतलब क्या करना है? 20/100 of 125 करना है. Cancel करें 1 जा 5 जा 5 से cancel करा 25. Correct? So 25 minus कर दिया, 20% reduction होके 100 आ गया. So now they are saying if the CP is 100, SP selling price is also 100. So find the profit or loss percent. So 100 की चीज 100 में बेची, will say no profit, no loss, 0% profit, 0% loss. So there is absolutely no profit or no loss in such a scenario. I hope this part is clear. If this part is clear, can we create a direct relationship to get the answer? What if I call this, and be very careful, what if I call this as A%? What if I call this as B%? And this 0% that we have got as net percentage change, can I say this is nothing but A plus B plus AB by 100? So this is something that we have spent a lot of time and energy on in trying to memorize that this is a direct relationship. So CP to MP is A, MP to SP is B, and CP to SP is net percentage change. For any of the three relationships, you can always apply this. And this is especially useful for people who tend to panic under pressure. I am a big supporter of understanding things by the fundamental way, getting everything very, very clear down to the basics and knowing what the question is asking and then solving it fundamentally and all that. That is when you are studying in classroom, when you are trying to learn. But there are students who might feel a sense of panic and might get confused, किसे बढ़ाना था, किसे कम करना था, क्या करना था. If the exam scenario is not there, they might be able to explain you very well. But in the exam pressure, a lot of students tend to commit mistakes, and therefore this is the time to know both The fundamental way as well as the shorter way. So what is the shorter way? Shorter way is simply this: plug in the values of A and B directly and get the answer. So let's see if we get the same answer. A is 25%. 25 is plus because it is marked above. Then discount of 20%, so B is negative, minus 20. Then AB by 100, so we get plus 25 into minus 20 by 100. So effectively we get 25 minus 20 is 5. And then this gets cancelled. So cancel करें, 4 से cancel करा 5 जा. So this becomes minus 5. Overall answer is 0%. So can I create a generic relationship for such question types? Yes. So I'll create that generic relationship and say that whenever you are given CP to MP change as A%, MP to SP change, which is a discount percent, as B%, then the net percentage change, N% is this, which is from CP to SP. Then please remember this, N% is nothing but A plus B plus AP by 100. And you will never get confused ever in your life. It doesn't matter whether it's an exam, which is time based, whether it's an interview, whether you're having a conversation, whether you're actually buying something or dealing with something that involves this. You'll never forget this, because this N% relates what percentage change? CP to SP. A% relates CP to MP. CP-MP relationship. And what does this B% relate? B% relates to discount, which is MP and SP relationship. Just be very careful, mindful of the values, plug those values in, get your answer, mark the correct answer, move on, get a call from the college, and finally do your particular BMS program. All right. So I'll erase this part. Let's move on to the next question now. So the next question is: a dishonest shopkeeper claims to sell goods. Again, standard question on using false weights. It should take 10 seconds. Uses a weight less than 10%. So sorry. This is 9, no? Yeah. So dishonest shopkeeper claims to use a weight that is 10% less than the correct weight. So if the actual weight is 1000 or 100, then the correct weight if the correct weight is 100, then the false weight that he uses is 90. So effectively he gets a profit of 10, and that profit is on a base of 90. So 10 by 90 is essentially 1 by 9, that is 11.11% profit. So if you want, again, let us know in the comments. I'll create a half an hour, 45-minute session on all kinds of variations. Some of you might have studied this, that sometimes a person goes to a shopkeeper and the shopkeeper cheats him with false weights. Sometimes the shopkeeper buys from the wholesaler where the shopkeeper cheats the wholesaler. Sometimes both these situations are combined together in one question. Sometimes it's about charging higher than the cost price. Sometimes questions are based on selling it on cost price itself, and so on and so forth. All such variations will be covered in one go. So एक session 45 minutes का ले लेंगे. Again, let us know in the comments if you need such a session. Otherwise, straightforward standard question, you'll be able to answer this very, very quickly. Let's move ahead to the next question. So an article is sold at two different prices, both yielding the same percentage of profit and loss respectively. What is the cost price? Do we need to even use our pen? Just observe this and try and answer. Don't use your pen, marker, pencil, whatever you might have. Just observe this question and answer. Article is sold at two different prices, 240 and 280, both yielding the same percentage of profit and loss respectively. Sold at two different prices. Sold at two different prices. What is the cost price? Looks confusing. Looks very easy. What would be the answer? Yes, I'm expecting some answers. 240, 280, same percentage of profit or loss. What is the cost price? Ridiculously easy question, or a twisted question where you'll have to assume some value of x. So try and just think and answer rather than using your pen. No answers so far, by the way. So that is slightly surprising. I would have expected answer within seconds from most of you. Article is sold at two different prices. So there is one article sold twice. Cost price will be the same in both the scenarios. But at one point in time, the selling price is 240. Whatever, let's assume whatever normal, you can think of a notebook being bought at a certain price, you can think of a particular accessory, a wristband, anything that is getting sold at these prices, but the cost essentially same in both the cases, and the percentage of profit and loss is also same. Surprise, shocking, nobody has been able to share the answer. Fundamental तरीके से करेंगे तो what will happen? Cost price, let's assume it to be x because that is what we are asked, and this is how we approach. So cost price is x. So for article 1, the selling price is 240. For article 2, again cost price is x, but selling price is 280. Now clearly, if both are yielding the same percentage of profit and loss respectively, same percentage of profit and loss respectively would be, when you are selling it at this price, you will get a profit because that is a higher value, and when you are selling it at this price, you will be incurring a loss. So can I say, in this case, the loss that will happen will be of x minus 240, and in this case, the profit that you will get will be equal to 280 minus x. But they are not talking of absolute values, they are talking of percentage value. Doesn't matter. Let's equate loss percent is equal to profit percent. What will be loss percent? Loss percent will be x minus 240 upon x into 100. What will be profit percent? 280 minus x upon x into 100. 100 वैसे ही cancel होता है, x cancel है. So effectively loss is equal to profit because the base is same, which is cost price. And now when you solve, you get 2x is equal to 240 plus 280. This becomes 520. 2x is equal to 520. So essentially you get x is equal to 260. That becomes your answer. I hope this part is clear. Now, how many seconds do you require to do all this? You don't need to do all this in the first place. I hope you have got the shortcut by now. If you haven't, just look at the question very, very carefully. CP is same. On one part, you are selling it at 240. On another part, you are selling it at 280. And if you are yielding same profit and same loss, then the value has to be exactly in middle of these. So 240 और 280 के बीच का आंसर क्या जाता? 260. That is the correct answer. Take the simple average of these two values. So the next question is an assignment for you. If you have understood this well, same question, share the answer in the comment section. Share the answer in the comment section कि 240 और 280 cancel कर देते हैं. Suppose 200 और 300 होता, so can you quickly tell me कि what would have been the cost price? 240 और 280 की जगह 200 और 300 होता, 200 and 300. So can you quickly tell the answer? Perfect. So that's your homework. You can share it in comments. आगे बढ़ते हैं. Next part, next question, maybe there would be one more question. By selling an article for 720, a man incurs a loss equal to 20% of selling price. So what is happening here is, the man is incurring a loss equal to 20% of SP. So can I say SP 720? 720 का 20% 1 by 5, which is 144. So 144 is the loss. What is the value of SP or CP? So we say CP is equal to SP minus loss. Simply put, SP minus CP is profit. CP minus SP is loss. We need to calculate CP. So can I say CP will then be equal to selling price plus loss. So CP is equal to SP. SP is how much? 720 plus loss. Loss is how much? 144. Add the two damn values, we get 864. By the way, 864 is a very interesting number. 864 is 27 into 32. Powers of 3. 3 cube into 2 की power 5. So it might be useful in number theory for factorization. Remember, 32 into 27 is the two ways to split where the independent numbers are raised to their prime powers. Anyway, so that was the last question that I wanted to cover. Yes, the price would have been 240, correct answer. 250 was the correct answer. Perfect. So I think that's about it. That's all that I wanted to cover as far as this first session is concerned. But what is interesting is that we have come up with IIM K mocks. So there are some interesting mocks that are planned for you uh, on the portal. So there are 5 full-length mocks. Section-wise performance breakdown is there, and typically the whole idea is because it's a new exam. पहली बार exam conduct होगा. Nobody has any idea what would typically get asked in the exam. So this is something that you can do. Just visit the website www.aptgoat.com. A lot of people who are not familiar with the acronym GOAT. GOAT is an acronym for greatest of all time. So very normal, popular kind of an acronym. So aptitude mein greatest of all time is the typical theme of the brand that we've started. Just visit this website. You can get access to these 5 mocks in due course of time. First one is already live. Try and appear in that mock. It would be a good way to identify what is the typical standpoint at which you are currently at and what is the best way forward. We'll continue the series as we move along. So next session is day after tomorrow. 15th is the date, 15th of May. 9 p.m. is the typical time. As I said, we'll take this particular series forward depending on the kind of response that you people get. I'm extremely happy that despite the initial few technical issues at the start, a lot of you were there throughout the session, and I'm sure that some of you will be watching this particular session later on, even when the live ends. And just share your feedback in the comment section so that we feel motivated enough to continue with the series, because if it doesn't add value, then we might do something that adds more value. So we'll continue coming up with sessions where the entire course broadly is covered in the form of questions, some amount of theory, some resources that will be available on the website on these lines. So we'll cover English. So next session is on vocabulary. Then we'll have questions. We'll have a session on simple interest, compound interest, and so on. So we'll try and cover the entire syllabus that is expected to be a part of the IIM K BMS admission test. Hope to see a lot of you sincerely coming back to this channel and watching it. But as I said, do that only if you feel there is some value. Time is an extremely precious resource. If you feel ki there is something useful and valuable here, you're learning something new in any session that you're attending, then only please attend. There's absolutely no need for you to waste time on this channel if you feel that this is something that you already know. Prepare and do something else that adds value. This is the last thought that I wanted to share with you. I'll take a leave. Ciao.